Hey everybody, so Opendoor Technology, if you're watching the chart, it traded kind of strange today. If you're looking at the chart and you're following it during the intraday today and you notice at a certain time, it pretty much dumped. And I'm going to show you the chart and we're going to look at to why that happened. All right, so here we go on the hourly chart for Opendoor Technology and we closed at $8.06. After hours, we're at $8.09, $8.10. And as you can see, today everybody was pretty excited. It was going up for multiple hours. This is the first hour right here, 9:30, green. Then here we go, 10:30, green, 11:30, green, 12:30, green, and then all of a sudden, everything just stopped right here. This hour at 1:30, everything stopped, and then it had a huge dump right here from 8.68 straight down to $8 in just 1 hour. So we had about 4 hours of going up, and then we lost it all in 1 hour. So what happened there? To me, I think it was, the big investors, the big guys with a lot of shares, they took profit. And could have been Jane Street. Jane Street is known for playing the intraday chart. Jane Street will buy calls early on, profit from here, then will sell the calls, and then profit again while it's going down, and then rinse and repeat. So that's what I think happened. So this right here is, pretty much uncalled for, manipulation, and pretty much shaking the hands of the retail, because I think Opendoor should actually be going up at this time. But if they can profit on an intraday chart like this, going up almost $1 and come back down another dollar, and then do it again the next day over and over again, they're going to keep doing it. It's easy money for them. So a good strategy if you are playing day trade for Opendoor Technology, you can profit the same way big investors at Jane Street does. Buy calls maybe at the low and then sell it when it pumps up like this. And if it does go back down, you rinse and repeat. That's one strategy. But hopefully this doesn't happen all the time. But at the same time, as I said in Discord, the main thing you want to look at is the daily chart. You want to make sure you have higher lows every day. And right now, that's what we're having. We're having higher lows at the moment. So the other day, low was 777, and today's low was 786. So tomorrow we're gonna make sure the low is higher than 786, which I think will happen. So the trend upward will continue tomorrow based on how the stock is currently trading at. And I remember saying before, Opendoor will probably go down if the government closes. But after analyzing the stock market as a whole and Opendoor, how it traded today, as I said before, I wanted to make sure and confirm this on Monday if the whole stock market is going to go down because of, government's closed. But after analyzing the stock market, I noticed that the government shutdown is pretty much priced in the stock market. And that's why the stock market as a whole went up today, including Opendoor early on, but came down because, their profit take the top right here. Because, Opendoor has a lot of volume. And when a stock has a lot of volume, the big guys going to take advantage of that. They can bring it up and then get out because the stock has so much liquidity, and that's what happened today. As you can see, the housing stocks, they did well today. Daily chart, Horton up 4 days straight. 4 days straight, DR Horton, housing stock. As I said before, housing stocks and Opendoor usually trade together. And at the moment, it's not happening. But I think it's because of manipulation. The MACD chart for DR Horton, it looks good. It came down, and now it's starting to stabilize right here. It flatlined at the moment. It flatlined right here a few days ago, and it's starting to go back up again. RSI is going up also in DR Horton. It means money is coming in DR Horton, housing stock. Lennar, same thing. Lennar is kind of flatlining right here, and then it's going to start turning up a little bit. And the RSI is starting to turn up a little bit as well right here. It means the money is coming back into the housing stocks, which means, starting to go up again. ITB, same thing. ITB had a nice day today. A nice green candle. Now let's check out Opendoor. Compare it to the other housing stocks. Opendoor, MACD, still coming down some. I guess it needed to come down a little bit more before it can do a nice MACD in an RSI like Horton and Lennar, right? So does that mean that Opendoor is too high at the moment? It could be. It could be. For the MACD and RSI to reset and get a nice flat line and start to go up again, probably need more volume, more positive volume. That's what we're looking for, in the next day or two. So based on how Opendoor traded today, If the big guys, the institutions, the people with the millions of shares, Jane Street, etc., if Opendoor goes up again tomorrow, it goes green again, which it possibly will, because the stock market is kind of looking green after hours, then that would mean Opendoor will probably trade and go up to 833, and pause a little bit. Or if it does the same thing as today, it may go from 808 and then go up to maybe 850 or higher, and then come back down and close around 815, 833. So what I'm trying to say is, it looks like they're bringing Opendoor up in small increments for the daily, not for the intraday. For the intraday, they're just pumping it up. People are going to get excited. People are going to buy. They know that, right? So they pump it up and profit from it, and they bring it back down and close it green. So if that happens again tomorrow, possibly, pumps up to maybe 850, 860, maybe even 880. And if they profit take again like this big red candle here, then, like I said before, close around maybe 815, 833, because it's a small increment higher based on where we closed today, 806. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We'll have to see what happens. Could that happen? Possibly, if they do the same thing they did today. But I did read also, housing stocks are fine at the moment, even though the government shut down. And all the other stocks also are fine while the government is shut down. That's why you see a lot of green on the chart on the left side. Because, as I said earlier, the government shutdown is somewhat priced in. They priced it in a few days ago when the stock market was kind of red. When the stock market went down, for example, in the Qs, September 23rd, all the way to September 25th, we had a nice decline in the Qs from 602 all the way to 588. That could have been them pricing the shutdown in right there. Now, how did they price the shutdown in when they didn't know if it's going to shut down or not? Well, they didn't know that the government was going to shut down, but they were pricing in the possibility of it shutting down, probably right around this area right here and this area. And once they got priced in, they brought the stock up. And when the government did shut down, didn't matter because it was already priced in. That's why we're still green on the Qs and a lot of other stocks. Microsoft looked good today. 1, 2, 4 days green. Nvidia looks really good. About 5 days green. Apple not moving too much, but it pumped up not too long ago from 240 to 258. So that's why it didn't move too much. So Jane Street is pretty much in Opendoor. So what Jane Street is going to do, they're going to provide stability to Opendoor Technology. That's what they're going to do. And they can also play games like this, from here to up here, right back down again in an hour, right? But because of Jane Street is in there, you may have days like this sometimes. But, since you know that this may happen sometimes, you have an idea, you may want to take profit when it goes high if you bought down here and then buy back in again when it goes down. So based on what I'm seeing, while Jane Street is in there and, the company's buying millions and millions of shares, I think the low sevens and the sixes are pretty much out of the way. I don't think we're going back down there anymore. Low sevens and the sixes. If we do go to the sevens, probably like the high sevens, 770, 780, and then come back up again, That's what I'm seeing so far. That's what they've been doing. You can see it the day before. It went to 777, came up again. Today, went to 785, came up again. It just bouncing down to the low end just so they can buy shares and they bring it back up again. Or just so they can buy cheap calls and profit as it goes up again. That's what I'm seeing for the past 2 days. Don't know what's going to happen all the time, but that's what I've been seeing for the past 2 days. So that's how I'm calling it at the moment. So for tomorrow, support. I'm still looking at $8 support. Resistance is going to be around 835. Once again, that was a resistance for today, right? 835. Then it came down and then it broke it. The resistance for today was 835 in the 860 areas, and then it was going to be 880, and we touched pretty much all of that and hesitated. We hesitated here at the 833, hesitated here at the 850, 860 area, and then we went to 880, the main resistance, and we came back down. So tomorrow, pretty much almost the same thing, right? Because they reset the stock. Went down, then came back up, went back down to $8 again. So tomorrow, same thing. Resistance 830, 850, and then 870, the 880 area. tomorrow. But I think at some point they're going to eventually stop playing games like this, right? And then they're going to move it up to the $8.50 to $9 area at some point. But we have to see when that's going to happen. Maybe when they accumulate enough shares, they'll bring it up again. You know, the institutions own a lot of shares on this stock, so they kind of can do pretty much whatever they want to do, right? As far as, you know, bringing the stock up and down. So at some point, you know, $8.50 to $9, we will be in that area and hold. But until then, you know, you may see days like this. It goes down, straight up, and back down again. And you can play it how you want. It's up to you. If you start seeing signs of this happening again, you may want to take profit at the top and then buy back again when it goes low. So that's one strategy. Will that strategy work all the time? No, because at some point they're going to bring it up, consolidate a little bit right here, and then go up some more. So you may sell at the top and say, oh, it's going back down again, so let me take profit, right? And then what's going to happen is they're going to bring it up some more, and you're going to be out, and they're going to bring it up to $9, $10. You're like, oh, I missed out on it. I'm already out. So this won't happen all the time, but they will do it sometimes based on what we have seen in the past. All right, everybody. So today I just wanted to analyze the chart and tell you pretty much what happened today. So comment if you have any questions. Like this video like you've always been doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe and join the Discord. I need some more people in the Discord, so we're going to talk about more about Opendoor Technology. I was calling this out on the Discord today, and we made some money, right? Made some money at the top. And then when it came down, we knew what was going on. We knew exactly what was going on. So, all right, everybody, take care.